All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And real briefly, I wanted to, that's the Spirit 144. Inflation, dealing with inflation. All right, and so before I move, I'm first going to start off here with the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 1 and then jump down. Okay, so this would be like the opening precept. And pretty much we are seeing the signs of the birth pains, okay, metaphorically speaking, of this place. All right, and we keep on speaking about it and speaking about it and speaking about it, but what's going to happen is when these things start happening and they start taking place, it's going to feel as though we didn't speak about it enough, because it's going to be happening and people are going to want to hear every single detail about what is going on. And what happens after people find out what's going on is, now what do we do? These are going to be like two of the main questions that people are going to be seeking answers to. Number one is what is going on, and number two is what do we do? All right, and that's why the scriptures tell you in Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, okay, and strength of salvation, because those that have the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai are going to be able to maneuver through, all right, and know what decisions to make and what paths to follow to endure unto the end and gain that salvation. All right, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter, because ultimately all these things are but they are a fulfillment of prophecy, of biblical prophecy. That's the only answer. All right, and it doesn't matter what people say and what they, at the end of the day, there's no other book, that people can go into, put it down there and say, boom, this here, this here, this here. You want to know why we repeat ourselves so much and we're constantly going into the same precepts? Because it's true, because it's there. We do it because we know that we can pick up the scriptures and go, boom, Revelation 6, 2nd Ezra 15, Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12:1, Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, Ezekiel 9:5. We can go Isaiah 65, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, 2nd Ezra 13. The list goes on and on and on. Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Isaiah 13. All right, and it's all in there. Okay, it's all in there. Boom, boom, this part, whatever's going on here, that's where it is. So you'll constantly see us going into these scriptures because the scriptures talk about the times we're in. So we can always keep making reference back there. But what you'll notice is not everybody can do that. You have other people that hold different beliefs, but they don't confidently go into their book to say, well, when it comes to prophecy about what's about to take place or what's currently happening in the world right now, they can't go into specifics and go in here and say, oh, well, in the book, this is what is happening, this is why it's happening, this is what's going to lead to. They can't do that. All right, but we can do that. Okay, we can do that, and that's why we do it. And we ain't going to stop. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. And it says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So we're only speaking what the Lord has put in our mouth, pursuant to Matthew chapter 10, verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And those that are spiritual are able to understand that. When we're speaking and doing these lessons, that's the Spirit of the Lord upon us to say these words, because we speak and it's like giving a speech, but we don't premeditate. We don't premeditate. Now, you may line up certain precepts, but the words you use, how you tie in the precepts, the examples you give, how you break it down, that's not premeditated. We speak as the Spirit gives us utterance. So a brother may be speaking and he may make a certain point or give a certain analogy, or say something, and it may just make a lot of sense to you in your mind. Well, that's the Spirit of the Lord speaking to you. Revelation 3:20, that's the Lord knocking at the door, waiting to see if you're going to open the door so he can come and sup with you. All right. So it says the words of prophecy. And that's what we're doing. Not going around talking about God is all love. God loves everybody. Yeah? Well, there's a special kind of love, and it's called Jacob's trouble. And you're going to find out just how much love the Lord got for you when your ass is starving to death, or when half your ass cheek is ripped off and there's a hyena chasing your ass with the other half in his mouth. That you're going to find some love. And you know what? These clowns going around, guess what? When these things start taking place, and you start catching hell, God loves. That's love right there. He loves all his creatures. So he got to love the hyenas. He got to love the wild animals. So how are they going to eat? Well, maybe he wants to use you as their food. Remember, he got to show love to everybody. See? Because now, if you get into an altercation with an Edomite, right, with an E, and the Lord has it to where he overtakes you and he triumphs over you, well, the Lord got to show love. He's showing love to E by helping him beat your ass, and not having you get the victory over him. That's okay. Now, what I'm curious about is what kind of love exactly is burning the whole of America with people in it? I want to know what kind of love that is. Or maybe I just misunderstand. Maybe the love really goes back to when the Lord flooded the whole earth and saved only 8 people. So I know that was love to Noah and his family, but I'm trying to understand what kind of love it was for everybody else. I don't know. It's messing with my mind a bit. I'm not too sure. Maybe I need to be enlightened. Maybe we need these super deep guys to come and enlighten us on what true love is, and what the love of the Most High is really like. Okay? And when the judgment comes, you can tell the death angels about love. You sit them down and hold on. I know you got a sword in your hand, but let me teach you about God's love. Yo, man. But you know what, though? It's just a fulfillment of prophecy. Because the scriptures talked about, in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, scoffers coming in the last days walking after their own lust. So we're not surprised. All right? We're not shocked. We're not surprised. It has to happen. All right? So it's really just a fulfillment of prophecy. That, hey, more hand claps, because these are all prophetic signs. And the beautiful thing is, we know and understand these signs. But let's keep going. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So the things we're telling you, they're going to happen. They're happening right now. Right? They're happening right now. But as it gets harder and harder, people are going to be seeking any succor or comfort or anything that can keep them calm and sane and good and provided for. And they're going to find out that that's not coming. You're not going to have somebody to soothsay, somebody to tell you sweet things that can calm your nerves. You're not going to have somebody to provide for you. All right, you're gonna be on your own. You're gonna have to fend for yourself. And a lot of people have set themselves up to be in that position. They want to be independent so bad, not knowing that, look, everybody got to depend on somebody. Okay? And ultimately, we depend on Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. But you got people that isolate, they go out there. You may have a woman, for example, that says, I don't need nobody. I'm going to just do this by myself. I don't need no other body. Right? So now she living by herself, and then she hears, maybe she got a house somewhere, and then she hears somebody, some burglar trying to break in. What happens then? Does she transform into Wonder Woman? I don't think so. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the, and I'm going to get to the inflation, all right? Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So yeah, that you the people that talk shit and come and say this and say that, guess what? At the end of the day, we told you that this Crown Vic was coming. We told you what it was gonna be like. We told you they were gonna engineer a Vanessa. We told you they were gonna do all of these things. And we lived through it, and literally somebody with common sense will say, hold on a second. I remember at the start of this, you guys said exactly this. And that's over the span of the last 2 years. That's exactly what we've seen. You know? So should I just go back to being proud and going back into my worldly activities just because it looks like I'm catching a break? So I'm going to jump down now, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Why? Because we are entering into the time of Jacob's trouble. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And that's what Jacob's trouble is going to bring. Destruction, chaos, but it's also going to bring salvation and deliverance. All right, it says here, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So what is an example of a modern day sword? A weapon, a gun, you know, a chainsaw, an actual sword. Okay. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're going to do what they want to do, regardless of what anybody's telling them. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, because they're going to set up these checkpoints. They're going to set up restrictions. Gas is going to be so high. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, because it's going to be some real scary times. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Because why would a man break into somebody else's house, hold them ransom, right? Have a gun towards them or whatnot, threaten them and steal their goods, or rape their wife or their daughter or them, you know, or kidnap somebody? Why would people do this? It says here, because of the lack of bread, which is a food shortage. When it says bread, it's not literal, you know, just only actual physical, like literal bread, okay? But bread represents food, what you eat. When we, in the Lord's Prayer, when we say, give us our daily bread, does that mean that every day we got to eat a slice of bread? And that's what the Lord, you ask for daily bread. I don't know about rice and chicken. All you asked for was bread. That's the deal we had. No, bread represents what you're going to eat. It says, so for the lack of bread and for great tribulation, great trouble. Okay, so now let's talk about inflation, because what does inflation do? Inflation destroys economies, but inflation also brings about great trouble. Okay, inflation brings about very great trouble. Slack kicking me. Inflation brings about very, very great trouble that a lot of people are not ready for. All right. You won't let me go? You moving up? All right, cool. And there's that saying, good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. Hard times make strong men, and strong men make good times. If I said it correctly. All right. And that's the thing. We are now in hard times, and you got weak men. Okay, you got weak men, you got weak women. The world, people are not ready. But it talked about great tribulation, right? So let's deal with great tribulation. And you look at places like Venezuela, or places even in history where inflation turned into hyperinflation, the economy, you know, turned real bad. And you look at how things played out in societies like that. The reason people get up every day and go to work, and they go to the store and they take out their wallet and then they pay for things, and they don't just go to the store and just grab things off the shelf. They don't just see somebody and just, you know, do whatever the hell they want to do. It's because there is a government, right? There's a way people are governed, and in that there's an economy, a functioning economy that is that centers around that. So I go to work and then I get paid. And then with that money, I pay bills, right? I get a place to stay. I pay bills, you know, I buy groceries. I do all of these things with the money that I get paid. So there's a system that we go about, and that keeps things in quote unquote check and order. Now, when you have inflation, and that changes the way people's lives are, because I go to work, I get paid, but now there's a problem. The money I'm getting paid is not enough. The money I'm getting paid is getting devalued. So it's harder for me to now pay rent. It's harder for me to now pay for food to eat. It's harder for me to now buy anything because the money that I'm getting paid. Now I'm still working maybe 8 hours a day, right? Like an 8-hour shift. Maybe I'm doing a 9 to 5, right? Doing a 9 to 5. I'm still working the same amount of time. I'm still getting paid the same amount, but for some reason, when I go to buy things, I gotta pay more. So what's going on? Well, the value of your dollar or the money you getting paid is going down. So now if I go to the store, because that's really what inflation is, that's the devaluing of the currency. And that really happens when there's too much of that currency in circulation. When you have too much of something, it devalues that thing. Okay? Things are more valuable the more rare they are. When you look at certain precious metals and stones, their value for the most part has to do with also the rarity. The more rare it is, the more valuable it is, because it's not easy to get. Okay? So when you have an economy that you have all this money being printed and pumped into it, the value of that money goes down. I go to the store, I buy a carton of milk or a gallon of milk for $5 today, right? The economy gets so bad, next time I come, I got to pay $10 for the same gallon of milk. Now, did the price of the milk go up? Not that the milk really got more expensive, but that the $5 I had last week is not worth $5 anymore this week. That $5 is now worth $2.50. It still says $5, but it's worth. It's worth $2.50. Okay? So what does that mean? That means that now I need to get $10. That means I got to get that $5. I got to bring another $5 in order to buy the same thing that I bought last time for just one $5 bill. So it looks like prices are going up, but that's really because they're doing that to accommodate for the value of the money going down. So why is that a bad thing? Well, inflation is when you have that, and gradually it goes up, right? When something is being inflated, that means, like, say you're inflating a balloon or something like that, it's getting bigger over time. And hyperinflation is when the rate at which this currency is devaluing, or the rate of inflation speeds up. Okay, is that rate being exacerbated? So if $5 loses its value to $2.50, now I have $5, but it's only worth $2, right? If that happens every year as a regular, inflation, hyperinflation would be, well, that happens today. That means tomorrow I come back, my $5 ain't worth $5 no more. It's worth $2. But then 3 days later, come back and it's not even worth $2 anymore. Now it's worth 50 cents. You see? And so in the reverse way, that's like I go to the store, I buy a carton of milk for $10 today. During a period of hyperinflation, if I come back tomorrow, I got to pay $20. But you might say, okay, so then that means that if I come back tomorrow and it's $20, then if I come back the next day, it'll be $30. Nope. That's why it's called hyperinflation. It doesn't go up at the same rate. Okay? It may go up $5 in an hour. It may go up $15 in 2 hours. See? So that's why you may buy a carton of milk for $10 a day. You may come back tomorrow, it's $20. You may come back the next week and it's $75. You say, well, hold up. That doesn't even add up. Yeah, because that's just the way it is. So you have these things that happen, and they get what's the good word that I can use? They get you. It's like it gets made worse by these events that take place. So you have an agenda by these elites to crash this economy, to cause this chaos, right? To break down this infrastructure, to make things worse than the way they already are. And they have this agenda, but now you got to keep in mind. You got to keep in mind that with this agenda, there, inflation or economic crash doesn't just happen overnight. So how do we get it to speed up even more? Well, they have a saying, which is never let a good crisis go to waste. So if you look at the whole situation with Ukraine and Russia and whatnot, you're hearing a lot of sanctions. You're hearing a lot of things dealing with oil. You're hearing, these are all things that, yeah, on the outside it looks like, oh yeah, we know we're going to target Russia, but these are things that will come back. There's a fallback, okay? There's a whiplash. And that's going to push this economy that just came out of a 2-year span of chaos, is going to push that economy, which is already on life support, to their deathbed, all right, or to their death. So you want to know why they're harping so much on Russia this, Ukraine this, we got to do this, we got to do more, we got to do, and then they're telling you that, well, the inflation and the gas prices going up, that's pretty much like a casualty of war. That's what they're saying. And the reason they're saying that is because they're getting exactly what they want. It's not about a casualty of war. They were hoping for a casualty of war. So what did they do? They started a war. That's how you do it. You start a war, and then you blame the effects of the war on, well, it's a war. Things happen. What can I tell you? Okay, but that's the goal all along. And so anybody who's really watching and you see these things going on, you say, nah, hold on. It's like one thing after another. And the way these devils move, they have something called predictive programming, where they'll say something, or they'll start putting that thought of something, put that vibration out there before they do it. Or they'll do it through movies, or they'll just start pushing a certain narrative, and then all of a sudden that thing becomes reality. When you go back to the time of Trump, when they were talking about elections and fraud and voter this and that, and then it all of a sudden it inflated to become a big deal, a big situation. So when they start talking about things like cyber attacks and prepare, and that's them letting you know, look, we're about to do something, but we need to prime. It's called priming. We need to prepare the minds of the people so when it happens, they don't go into shock. They don't ask too many questions, because they already had some idea that it was a potential. It was something that could happen. So now that it's happened, well, we did tell you that to be aware of things like this. But at the end of the day, all of this is going to lead to one thing, and that's the MOTB. They need to present it as a solution, not a problem. If you come up to somebody and say, yo, I wanna insert a charagma inside of you, they're gonna look at you like, we got a problem. That's a problem. I don't want a device inside of me. Which one you? So they can't just present it to you because it's gonna be a problem. They need to present it as a solution. Okay? Now, how do you have a solution if you don't have a problem? If you have a solution with no problem, then it's not really a solution now, is it? It only becomes a solution when there's a problem. So I have an idea, but how does this idea of mine go from just being an opinion and an idea to now a solution? Well, they do this in reverse. You would have a problem and somebody would tailor a solution to the problem. Well, they bring an idea and then they tailor a problem to that idea. And that in turn turns that idea into a solution. Okay? If you, I'm gonna just throw something out there, right? Say that sidewalks. Say I thought about sidewalks. Khan, that's right, the water. Yahweh Shemel Shai Barakatham. GMS Hawaii Ba, hyperinflation, monetary inflation occurring at a very high rate. Exactly. And that's exactly where we are headed for full speed. That's gonna make life very difficult. But I'll give you an example. Say that sidewalks weren't a thing, and I wanted sidewalks to be a thing, right? If I wanted sidewalks to be a thing, and I'm like, well, ain't no sidewalks. People are fine. They're walking on the road and everything. Hypothetical. They're all good with it. They don't see a problem with it. Now, if I come to you and say, look, I want to spend billions of dollars or whatnot to implement sidewalks into all the roads that are around, people are like, nah, I'm not trying to, nah. Well, why? That's mad work. They're looking at it as a problem. It's my idea, but nobody really wants to adopt my idea. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna set up a way to where all of a sudden people who've been walking on the road they had a system going. Now I'm gonna make sure people start getting hit. Every 2 seconds, somebody getting hit by a car. They're getting hit by a car. That's the problem. That's gonna make my idea sound like the perfect solution. And then I'm gonna come again. Yeah, no, it's crazy how a lot of people getting hit, by walking on the same street as cars, right? Man, it would be real helpful if we had something like, I don't know, maybe a sidewalk or something like that, to where people can walk on one side and cars could be on one side, and that way, look at that. The problem of people getting hit by cars is not a problem anymore. It's solved. So then they say, yo, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, wow, that's a very good idea. Yeah, of course. I'm down. I'll spend all my tax money, my taxpayer dollars to implement sidewalks on every road. Because I don't want my daughter or my son or even me to get hit by a car while I'm walking on the road. And then just like that, my idea became a solution to a problem that didn't exist before, but I had to make that problem exist so that I can get my solution, I can get my way. So why am I saying all this? Well, at the end of the day, the MOTB is their plan, is their agenda. But presenting it and just pushing it to the people off the bat is going to be a problem. There's going to be pushback. People are going to be hesitant. They don't want that. So that's why you have gradualism. You slowly make a problem and let that problem eventually spiral out of control. And then as the problem is there, you're still pushing that idea as a solution. And then when the problem steps out of control, then you bring that idea back again and say, hey, look, this is a way we can deal with this situation, and then voila. So that's why we talk about a crisis, and that's how we know what they're going to do next, because they have a solution, but the problem has to be tailored to that solution. See? It's the ultimate problem action solution. Yep. That Hegelian dialectic, because you got to think about it. If my problem or if my solution has to deal with sidewalks, right, that I gave the example of, why would I make the problem planes falling out of the sky? No, the problem that I'm gonna come up with is gonna be related to sidewalks. It's gonna be related to cars. It's gonna be related to people, and it's gonna be related to sidewalks. So now if there's gas prices, shit. Regular is $4.09. Oh Lord. So regular is $4.09. I think premium is is that $79? No, I gotta get a closer look. If that's $4.79, that's real high, real quick. Because it was just 3 something, But that's an example of hyperinflation. Yep, $4.09, $4.79, and $4.69. $4.09, $4.79, $4.69. That shit is about to be at $5. Okay? And then $6. And then $7. At that point, you might as well just get you a bike. Right? Where you gotta go that's so important? $7 a gallon, good Lord, have mercy. You see? But you got people that are walking around and, oh yeah, $4, oh yeah, what the, they don't understand. That's happening with gas. Wait till you go to the supermarket. It'll be the same thing. You go there, you looking at you sitting there, you looking at it, right? Oh, somebody said, Yuana said, regular is $5 in Cali now. I can't find. Look at that. Yep, that's the I Am Legend gas prices. You go to the store and maybe there's this I don't know, a crate of water, a pack of water, or maybe I don't know, milk. I use milk. Milk is a good example. You go and a carton of milk, you always get the same type, half and half, 2%, whatever, fat-free, whatever you get, hemp milk, you know, almond milk. So you get this almond milk, right? And every time you get it, it's $3.99. You always come for this almond milk. But then when it goes to like maybe $4.20 sign, damn, the price is going up. It's already $4. Shit. Then you come back again, it's $5.30. You gonna notice. You gonna stop and look. You might wonder, did they switch the brand? Is this a new kind? $5. You may ask the cashier, register guy, whoever works there. Yo, is this the same almond milk? Yep. What's going on? Hey, things are priced, man. Things are going up. The gas prices went up, which means that truckers have a harder time transporting goods. The goods that are already having shortages, they have a hard time transporting that. So everything, the prices of everything have to go up to accommodate for the extra gas prices and the difficulties going on. Then you come back again the next weekend, this shit is $8. What? The milk that I used to buy for $3.49 is $8. You see? But then you stop and you say, okay, well, if I make $15 an hour and grocery shopping was maybe a quarter of my paycheck, now if just the gallon of milk went up almost $5 and everything else is going up, if I go grocery shopping for just a few items, that's already half to maybe 75% of my paycheck. And my boss is not going to pay me more, and I still have to pay rent. But rent is also going up. So now, people start having a hard time. Now they have to start prioritizing. They have to start cutting certain things out. Your gym membership, you gotta cancel that because you can't afford it. You can't afford to be paying for groceries at this high price, and then your gym membership is charging you. Your Netflix account is charging you. Your Amazon Prime is charging you. You're going to cut all that out. You got to prioritize. Okay? Now, certain things that you buy when you go grocery shopping, you got to cut it out because you got to prioritize. Certain activities, you got to cut it out. Transportation gets hard. Everything gets hard. And then soon, you cut out the wants and the luxuries, but then you realize, it's more than that. Now I got to cut out certain necessities. And then it's going to get to the point where people's lives are just going to be difficult. It's just going to be difficult to live. If I go to the store, I can't buy anything. I literally don't have enough money to buy anything. So what's going to happen? People are going to start taking, because you may go to the store one day and you can't buy anything. You don't got money. All right. But how long are you going to stay like that before you start thinking in your head, F this shit. I'm going to just take something, man. I'm going to just shoplift. I'm going to just take it because, I'm hungry as shit. My family, I need, nah. And it only takes 1, 2, 3. And once the trend has started, that's it. That's it. People are going to be taking shit left and right. They're just going to run it. They're just going to come up into the stores with a shopping cart and just start putting things up in there, and they're going to leave. And then guess what? That store is just going, either it's going to close down because businesses can't stay open. Whatever the case is, things are just going to get very, very, very difficult very quickly too. And that's going to stress people out. That's going to make people's lives very uncomfortable to live. Okay? And that's the times that we're coming into. So that's going to bring about great tribulation. All right? That's going to bring about great tribulation. That's going to cause a lot of people to panic. That's going to cause a lot of people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Things that they will only do out of what? Desperation. And that's when, okay, the supermarkets don't got anything now. Everybody done robbed it. They done taken what they wanted. Let's go up into them rich neighborhoods. Shit is hard, man. Let's band up and let's do. People are going to start doing some wild shit out of desperate times. So you thinking, oh, well, that's all the way in Ukraine. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay. Well, guess what? The same way they're able to transport pipes and wires from one area to another through ocean floors and what? Guess what? Whatever's happening over there, they doing it so your eye can be over there. But the scriptures say, be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. Okay? So it's the real thing is what you don't see. That's why Yahushua said, the beginning of sorrows. What we're seeing now is indicating to us that the time ahead is going to be a very painful time. When you look up the word sorrows in that precept, it says the Damn, inescapable anguish, you know, preceding the advent of the Messiah. So hard times, aka Jacob's trouble. All right. So hey, I mean, you already see what's going on. We already know what time it is. So we just gotta watch how the Lord does this thing, man. But the Lord is definitely picking things up, and the Passover is right here. Okay, so let's see what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai does. Who knows? Maybe he might just bring an actual blackout on the Passover. He might just, oh, Russia just launched a cyber attack. The shit, they just took shit off the grid. You know, they attacked all the financial systems. The banks and all that don't work. Interesting. Going back to my example about the problem being tailored to the solution. If you want to bring out a world currency, you need a world problem. What's the problem with the old currencies that you need a new one? If there is no problem, then guess what? If there's no problem with the old currency, why would you bring a new one? And if you have a new one, then you gotta have a problem with the old one. So you gotta, they're gonna affect security. They're gonna everything they want to tailor, which is martial law, the smart cities, you know, all these new things they want to bring about. They're gonna cause a problem that is so massive, so bad, that you are gonna accept willingly their solutions, no matter how outlandish they sound. The more outlandish the solution, the more chaotic the problem. All right. So these devils are definitely getting ready to do something, and we got to watch and see how the Lord sets it up, man. As the scriptures say, watch as well as pray. So we're definitely in some interesting times. All right. But anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. You know, Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. Hey, keep your eyes open, man. And as these prices go up, shit, if you got to fill up that tank, you better do it now. All right. But hey, remain in prayer, remain in faith. You know, and may Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai speed up these days that, Lord willing, we get out of here. You know, Yahweh Shai comes back and we get out of here. But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rakak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.